Hello and welcome to the Sweaty the Farmer and the news. We always bring you the pinnacle of games news guarantee, or we'll give you your money back, whatever that entails or means or whatever. Can we actually give you the money back? No idea. This is our weekly show where we discuss some of the most important news in the gaming world. I am the non-name gamer as the Sweaty.
And I am Lucho the Farmer. Thanks for coming together this week to talk about some relevant news.
Some of the most important news, relevant, interesting, or whatever. In the docket we have Monster Hunter Rise trailer announcement. It looks good. Final Fantasy XVI coming to PS5 as a launch title, I think. And Fall Guys once had a secret cheater island but had to close it down. So, Lucho, we got a new Monster Hunter.
We got a new Monster Hunter entry.
It's two, right? It's two Monster Hunters that were announced. Once Stories. I saw Stories 2, Monster Hunter Stories 2, which is a sequel for a Monster Hunter in the Switch, I think. And this one.
I only saw this one. But
you only saw this one. Yeah, I saw the other one for the Switch, which is a sequel for a Monster Hunter Story 1, which apparently is a very story-driven Monster Hunter game for Switch.
Yeah, I have heard about Monster Hunter Stories.
Yeah.
It's not unknown to me.
Fair enough. So, what is this interesting? A new Monster Hunter World, a new Monster Hunter Rise.
Did you saw the?
I did saw the trailer.
A new Monster Hunter game.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting because it seemed like they're using
the same engine.
I don't know if the same engine or like a version of the engine or they modified the engine so that you can start doing other consoles, but at least it has the same style that Monster Hunter World does. Like in terms of art, and I don't know if you saw the monsters, like they're clearly sharing the rigging. If not the whole 3D model with some of the Monster Hunter World monsters, and it seems from the trailer and from the little gameplay that we have seen so far, that it shares a lot of that it was probably made like based on all the work that they put into Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we generally the entrances in the Switch console are very much like a story. It was like cel shading, very artistic, very reduced. But this entry definitely looks like they took the Monster Hunter World kind of base engine and then they scale it down so it worked in the Switch. Because
it definitely is not as like the environments are not as detailed.
Correct.
As Monster Hunter World, but it's definitely the same engine, definitely the same rigging, some of the same monsters. I think we see our good electric dog. Forgot his name.
Really? Tobikadachi?
Tobikadachi being eaten by something.
Yeah.
Or if it wasn't him, it was one of their monsters.
Yeah, that's true. I love the riding doggo though. It's a good doggo. We have a cat and a doggo as a mount.
But I found this interesting, especially because at some point, a couple of years ago, we were talking about what would the
next thing
future be for the Monster Hunter franchise.
Yeah,
and this is an interesting answer to that question.
Yeah, it's definitely not what we expected. Of course, it's too early because they just deployed the last patch of Monster Hunter Iceborne, Monster Hunter World Iceborne. They just released the last patch of that game. It's too early to know what is next in that realm, but it's very interesting to see this approach to the franchise through the Switch console, especially because Monster Hunter as a franchise for a long time lived in portable consoles, right?
Yeah, a lot of its main entries have. I mean, I don't know if this Monster Hunter Rise is a main entry. Like Monster Hunter Stories is definitely not. It's one of the spin-offy.
Yeah, correct. Monster Hunter Stories is a spin-off, yes.
But this one, feature-wise and gameplay-wise and with all the bells and whistles, it seems to be
like a main
full-fledged main entry in the franchise.
Yeah, but like it looks really good to be going to the Switch, man. Like
I'm not saying that that's actually what is surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not surprising. It is a good.
And
it is a smart use of the engine and assets that they already developed.
If I was a betting man, I probably guess that the developers of this game started with Iceborne because they share the claw concept, right?
Yeah.
Which was the thing that Iceborne brought in, like that new movement style to fight monsters and that sort of stuff. So definitely started around that time, and I think it's a great like this shows the confidence now that they have on the Western market and in the Monster Hunter as a franchise afterward, because that was the first World was the first toe in the water for the Western market, and it was a huge success. And now it's super cool that they're bringing more entries to this side of the pond, because they're in my in my perspective, like for me, this is a great development team. All the work they have done for World, for Iceborne, for stories is been excellent. They're responsive. They keep the game fresh through patches without charging you a lot. The team is good in the forums when they're addressing player concerns and that sort of stuff. And a bunch of things that we asked in War came in Iceborne in that sense. So yeah, super cool. It's a shame that I don't
you know which feature does it share with Iceborne?
Which one?
The rideable companion.
The rideable companion. The one that started like you capture and then you ride the little dudes, and now it's a full-on companion.
Yeah, but it's the same concept. Just
basically
a companion that you can ride and do all your in-between fight maintenance.
Yeah, absolutely.
It definitely has that, like, reinforces that. How do you call it? That flavor.
Yeah.
Of World.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely love this. It's a shame that I don't own a Switch. Will you buy a Switch to play this game?
I mean, not really.
Not really, right?
I have thought multiple times about buying a Switch.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm not a console player. And now that I'm not traveling much, it makes way less sense to get one.
Correct. But definitely, like, the Switch is a big, important platform.
Oh, it is. Yeah, like these days is one of the main platforms.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Nintendo's platform.
Yes, correct. And they have more of a wide reach than a lot of the other consoles. At least I think that
they're definitely more. I mean, Nintendo has always been, but perceived like more family friendly. But like the whole portable and easy to use concept makes it more approachable for a lot of people. So that's my impression.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people feel like the Xbox and PS series are kind of for more hardcore-ish people.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
But the Switch it's been super popular across everyone. So
correct. So
I probably won't get a Switch.
But a lot of people have Switches. Like
a lot of people do.
Yeah, a lot of casual, quote unquote casual gamers have Switches, but so yeah, this is great. I think this is great. This is great, and it's 2 titles coming to the console. So if you like the story side, like of the franchise, you will get that. But this definitely looks like a proper Monster Hunter by the side of Monster Hunter World, like bringing those aspects into the Switch. I'm just like surprised that the Switch has all these titles that look so good, man. Like the Switch is not exactly like it's not exactly a big like a big powerful machine, right?
It is. I mean, it is a very powerful machine for the size.
Yes, that is true. But
And
still,
I know if you get smart with your assets and stuff, you can get away with a lot of stuff. We have seen it in Warframe, for example.
yeah,
So,
definitely.
I'm not super surprised that it can run Monster Hunter as it seemed that it's gonna run,
Yeah,
but I know I'm just why Switch?
yeah.
I don't know any consoles.
I know. It's like, at least port it, or I don't know. I guess there's no point in porting it because Monster Hunter World exists, and this in a PC will look like 50% of the quality of Monster Hunter World,
yeah, no,
probably.
look,
So
like on a 4K display,
yeah, no.
super high refreshment rate, it won't look good for sure.
Yeah.
Although I wonder because you can dock a Switch.
Yes, that is true. But
and you can blow it up to like TV size. And,
yeah, but I don't know. I don't think it will look that good. Tell you the truth.
I don't know. Maybe it will.
We'll have to see when it's released.
Also, I have heard that the performance of the Switch changes when it's handheld and docked.
Yes, that is true.
It uses different levels of power.
Yeah,
so.
correct. Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, it definitely won't look as amazing as Monster Hunter can look on PC.
Yeah.
But maybe it will look really good.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, Monster Hunter, but
I cannot tell you.
Still, they're coming back to the place where they are strongest in, that is mobile consoles for the franchise.
It's not that they're strongest. It's just that I feel like that's something. Like having a strong presence on the portal market.
Yeah.
It's something that comes out of the Japanese market.
Yeah, correct.
So that seems to be like a super strong part of the market there.
Yes.
That may not be like it is a feature of the market that is not shared with the Western market.
Correct.
So that we may see it as something odd.
Yeah.
But maybe it makes more sense for their home market.
Correct. Yeah. Well, if you have a Switch, we 100% recommend you to check out Monster Hunter Rise when it comes out on the 26th of March of 2021.
Yeah.
And you will get that amazing Monster Hunter experience, which this team always bring to you. So we will recommend 100% that you pick it up.
Yeah, I want to say something else.
Yeah.
It's just a little thing. It makes me really happy that they're like reusing not only the engine but like the whole rigging.
Yes.
Like that gives me hope for the future for another big entry for PC.
They for sure is gonna do. They have no reason to do it. Like War was such a success that they have no reason.
But not
why
only that, like they're following their own formula of they're reusing the rig and the models. So
to do all this spin-off
and
as usual. Yeah.
And with all the work that they did world, it gives me hope that there may be something cooking that we still don't know.
Yeah.
That is using all the background.
Yeah.
Work
I don't know.
I
think in terms of the big release in PC, I think they're gonna take a time. They're gonna evolve in the technology, and then they're gonna have like another big release.
I'm not saying it's coming soon. I'm just saying that like they don't have to, because that was one of the big things at the beginning, or at the beginning of the cycle of Monster Hunter World, was the whole you cannot reuse any of the riggings and models and animations.
Yeah.
So now this is showing us that they build their library of things.
Yes. So they can actually use them. Yeah.
We may get something sooner.
But I got the feeling
something is already cooking.
Yeah, I got the feeling that they did that because they weren't sure if War was gonna be successful. And then after that they say like, oh yeah, was actually successful. Let's like, because to do Iceborne, they probably did all that. Like they transform the rigging so they can use it in some other things, that make a library of animations and they can use it in something else. They probably did all that work between Monster Hunter World and Iceborne. If I was gonna guess where that happened, right?
I don't know. I feel like I feel like Monster Hunter World was more of a big gamble on itself.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So, because also Iceborne came fairly soon after the release of Monster Hunter.
It was like 2 years after Monster Hunter was released.
Yeah, that means that they started thinking about it even before World was released.
Yes, you're right.
It's not like they waited a year to see if it was successful.
Yeah.
And then it had a year. It's not a year of development.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
They probably started thinking of like they probably thought of the whole thing at once.
Yeah.
Meaning World/Iceborne is one big thing.
Yes.
And they just developed the technology for the whole thing, and that's my point, that they develop a lot of technology for this for World/Iceborne, which I think in my head is one complete product.
All right, yeah.
And then this is like now the base technology. That's and now we're seeing it used somewhere else, and that gives me hope for
the future of
for another big entry for PC at least.
Yes, please do it. All right. In the next news, so Final Fantasy XVI for PlayStation 5, and yeah, they're coming back from the 15, which was kind of modern look to the franchise, and this is back to the very medieval kind of Final Fantasy style. We haven't seen a medieval Final Fantasy style game since 14 online.
I mean, and
all that before
14...
like 10, 11, 12, and 10, 11, 12. I don't remember if 12 was medieval style.
No, none of them.
No, it was
and even 14 is arguable.
It's medieval style. Well, they have Magitech, which is kind of like which is a type of technology, but overall they have like medieval garments. And
I don't know if I'll say that. Like the leather coat aesthetic is very steampunky.
Well, yes, I don't know. If I was gonna put 14 somewhere there, I will probably put it into the medieval camp.
I wouldn't.
Moving through the middle.
It's like a middle. It's just a mix of throw all the things together.
Yeah. All right. So why is 16 interesting for you, Lucho?
Because Joshua P is the producer.
That's the head of 14?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the head of 14. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the lead producer, and I don't know if it's game director or lead director or some
Something
title like that.
yeah.
Like he basically held the two big titles for 14.
Yes.
Like a game director and game producer.
Yes, correct.
And he is regarded in the not only the 14 community, but I think at large in the Final Fantasy community as the savior
of the franchise. Yeah, 14.
Of the franchise.
14. The online side. He saved the online side for sure. That's his legacy so far.
I mean, not only that, but like 14, when it released, was one of the main entries, and it is one of the main entries in the game.
Yes.
And Josh P took it like out of it did a huge, or not a huge, but like a full 180 change to a game that went from complete disaster to quote unquote overnight success.
Yeah.
And there has been speculations for a couple of years now, I think, that he was already working on another project.
Yes, correct, yeah.
And now it has come to light that this other project that he was working on is, in fact, Final Fantasy XVI.
It looks super good, by the way.
It looks amazing.
It looks amazing, by the way.
There are a lot of people speculating about the gameplay, and a lot of people are saying that it's probably going to be closer to 15's gameplay, actiony.
Kind of, yeah. They're moving away from the turn-based action to actual almost real-time action. But they say they should be a system like more on the side of the turn-based, like more of the mix between the two. Right? Because why are they stopping and just not making making a proper action RPG Final Fantasy?
It could, I mean, to be honest, we just don't know.
Yeah.
Because we have not seen gameplay of 16.
Yeah, and the one they show in the trailer looks like an action RPG. Like they didn't show turns or anything like that.
No, it is definitely turn-based. It is definitely an action-oriented game.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll call it an action RPG.
Yeah.
But definitely action game.
Correct.
It will be interesting to have an actual action RPG.
An actual, yeah. They've been getting closer and closer and closer. They've been mixing the system.
I don't know if I would really call it close to an action RPG.
Like if you see the
I've seen gameplay of 15.
Yeah, if you see 15, 12, 13, they're being getting closer to the action. They're trying to get. They were trying to be in the middle. Like they were doing real time, like a slow time, so you can take your decisions, but you can do it in real time and that sort of stuff. They've been experimenting in that sort of gameplay.
Yeah, but I will definitely not call any of those games action RPGs.
Correct. Yeah, I me neither. But for what we see in the trailer, I think this looks almost like Devil May Cry, man. You know what I mean? It looks like Devil May Cry 6 gameplay.
It could be like that, but Devil May Cry is not an action RPG for me.
No, it's a story brawler. How do you call that genre?
Like gameplay is like a bullet hell kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. like a brawler. But of course, it's gonna have all the. I guess that it's gonna have all the RPG systems to level up. That's
it's gonna have all the RPG systems.
Yeah.
Sure. Final Fantasy at heart is an
yes
RPG game. No matter the actual gameplay loop.
Yeah.
I'm not taking away the RPG element out of it. It's just that. Okay, maybe I should clarify. Like, for me, the quintessential action RPG is Diablo 2.
Okay, yes.
That is the pinnacle of action RPG.
Will you consider Dark Souls franchise action RPG?
No, it's not.
What do you consider the Dark Souls franchise?
It's It probably lives in the same world that Monster Hunter lives. It's like this boss, big monster fighting genre.
With RPG elements, yes.
But like Monster Hunter also has RPG elements.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. But it's a boss fight kind of big encounter.
But it's not. It is an action game in the sense that you're fighting things.
Yeah, in real time.
But it's not in real time. But it's not an action RPG.
Correct. All right.
Dark Souls for me is more like this big monster hunting, big monster. It is a Monster Hunter-like game.
Yes, correct.
And that is its own genre.
Yeah. So if you were gonna define an action RPG, you will say that it's a real-time combat where the RPG system weighs heavily in how you fight, right?
Yeah, and
that's like Diablo 2, right? If you want to put it in a nutshell. Yeah.
Path of Exile, Diablo 2 are in my head the defining games for the action RPG genre.
So, what third-person action RPG have you played? Or is your reference, in this case, for comparison with 16?
I don't know. I don't play that many games.
Fair enough. I'll probably say Kingdoms of Amalur is a good contrast. Fable is a good contrast. We haven't. The things like
Fable.
Fable
could be.
Yeah.
It is less actiony.
But it's what I mean.
Because the fighting. Yeah. The fighting mechanics. It's more akin to a MMORPG.
Yeah.
But definitely Fable. I agree. I love Fable. I play Fable. It probably. Yeah. That's a good reference. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Whether to be in that genre that we're talking about and not being asymmetric, that's the definition that we're gonna give. Like your decisions in the RPG system weighs heavily on the way that you fight.
Yeah, I mean, also, like if we take as reference the Diablo franchise and Path of Exile.
Yeah.
Like they have a very defined itemization system that it's pretty similar among them. People that acknowledge it. So that plays a lot of that. Like the itemization for those games is one of the defining features of
correct
of the genre.
The thing is, like, we haven't had a big action RPG in third person for a long time. I think that's the thing, right? Destiny could be an action RPG, but it's a first person game.
Yeah.
So we haven't had an action RPG.
I mean, isn't Bastion an action RPG? I think it is.
Yes. But again, it's asymmetric.
It is asymmetric.
Yeah.
But tell me, wouldn't it be nice to have a Final Fantasy asymmetric action RPG?
Isn't there one? Isn't Tactics? No, Tactics is
Tactics is a turn-based.
Yeah.
No, there is. I mean, like 11 looks like that, but that's a limitation of the technology at the time.
Yeah.
But no, like just imagine Path of Exile but
Final Fantasy. That would be
I would
interesting.
like that.
I would like,
That would be
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, for sure. But anyways,
That's all I was saying.
with this dude at the helm, we were expecting big things in this game.
The expectations are out of the roof.
Yeah.
And I hope people.
And I hope he continues his legacy. Like my hopes is continue his legacy and revolutionize the Final Fantasy franchise by bringing the first action RPG Final Fantasy with all the great narrative, with all that implies that it's a Final Fantasy, and a big, interesting, deep system combined with fast-paced action combat. That'd be fantastic.
You should have put that many expectations on the poor guy.
I know. I know.
Which is what a lot of people are doing. And
that's
also have
what
a lot
I
of
would like.
expectations for the game.
That's what I would like. It's not what I expect because he's a human. Still a dude. But that's what I would like in this game. If it's gonna be like that or not, beyond that, I think it's gonna be a great game.
But even that, I think is unfair. Because what if it's bad?
Poor guy. All right, yeah, I guess yes.
Like it's not like he's making the whole game itself.
Yeah,
also,
that's true.
he's not controlling the whole process.
Yeah.
As he was doing in 14. He's just a producer.
Correct.
I mean, and the producer does a lot of stuff, but
Correct.
But it's still is not his vision for the game either. That.
Yeah, fair enough.
It is the game director vision.
That is true. But anyways,
I don't know if you like to just for the listeners who don't know the difference between the role of the producer and the game director.
All right. So how does it work? Is the game director is a more closer job that you will expect, but they take different decisions. The game director, the job of the game director is keeping the whole project cohesive. The job of the producer is taking decisions of what is or not in the game. That is the big difference, right? The game producer, he takes the decision of, we have enough time to do X or Y features. Do we have enough people to do X or Y feature? Do we have enough money? He goes and speak with the people who is giving him the money. In this case, the producer board from Square Enix, and kind of explains how much the project is going to take, etc., etc. The game director is the one in the floor. So here he goes and check out every department, make sure that the vision of the game is consistent, make sure that whatever system that are going into the game are sound and make sense inside the context of the game and what experience he wants to deliver. That's the big difference between those two jobs. They're parallel, but they take very different decisions.
Yeah,
right?
just so if you don't know.
Yes.
Like, I guess if I had to put it on cruder, like on more harsh words, like the game director is a more artistic role, if you so desire.
Artistic, quote unquote. Yes.
I mean, no, like if you think that games are an art form, like the game director is the one with the vision, the one
correct.
who has an idea and who's in charge of keeping that idea cohesive.
Absolutely. Yes.
Well, the producer is more of an administrative role.
Yes, correct.
Of just making sure that things are delivered on time, that money is spent in the right places.
Correct.
It's more like it's a more administrative job. Like
yes.
He needs to keep in check.
Departments and that sort of stuff. And, of course, that doesn't mean that one cannot wade into the other.
Oh, absolutely.
People is people.
I'm just putting it on like the simplest terms possible.
Yes, correct.
Which is far away from reality, but it's just a way to keep it in mind.
So generally,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, generally, what happened in the industry is like, if you have a great producer, you know that the game is gonna be good, deliver on time, right? And on budget. But and when I say good, is that it's gonna be feature complete.
That it works,
right?
that it's feature complete.
Yes.
A game.
Correct. And when you have a great game director, you know that the game itself is gonna try to deliver you an interesting experience, right? Both jobs are extremely relevant for the success of a game.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Right. All right.
It's just that sometimes you may disagree with the game director's vision for a game.
Yeah.
Like fundamentally, and that's okay.
Yes.
And then you won't see a game as good, but like just a different perspective on the whole thing.
Yeah. So anyways, for our last news this week, Fall Out Guys once had a cheater island but had to close it down. So what do you think about this solution for this team or in the realm of cheaters to put it all in the same place, kind of like cheater hell?
So explain to me how did it work for?
Well, basically they have they never, as with general things in this industry, they never disclose how they detect cheaters. But
no, I know, but like they do detect cheaters, and what do they do with them?
So what they were doing was putting them all on the same queue.
Okay.
So all the cheaters will play the game separately from the normal people once they were detected, instead of being banned or whatever, or sanctioned or whatever. They were put all in the same queues, on the same. They were competing against each other with all the, on the cheater things. So what do you think of that approach of taking cheaters, not banning them, but just putting them
in their own special place in hell?
Yeah, exactly.
I actually like that idea quite a lot.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's what I bring into it. It's like, while you develop good software to detect cheating, because sometimes there's problems of how do you ban this person, and then this person goes and buy a new account. So is it the problem gone? It becomes a hellish circle into itself of the eternal chase of you developing technologies to stop the cheaters from cheating and then ban them, and they getting new accounts or new ways to circle around. I think this is a great idea.
I think it's an amazing idea.
Yeah.
The only drawback that I see is, okay, let's say that you shoot it in a game.
Yeah.
You get sent to this special queue of hell.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, fuck it, it's not worth it. And then you turn off all the shits, you won't shit again. And you back to normal queues?
Yeah.
Or is it like an IP-based thing, basically?
It depends how they're detecting it, right? Depends how the technology works for you detecting it.
It depends how technology works, for sure. It's not problem only of the detection. It's also how they enforce the punishment. Because you can detect it, but like if the punishment is, for example, IP-based, you are like you can't stop shitting, but
there is still,
if your IP is tainted.
Yeah, but there's still ways to get around that, technically speaking.
I know that there are ways, but that's not my point. My point is, okay, you reformed yourself. You say, okay, it's not worth it. I'm not gonna do any more funny business. No.
How do you come back from that?
No VPN. I'm not saying you cannot. I'm just wondering. I'm actually just asking, and I know we don't know, but like it is a question of you have to, or my point is you have to be careful how you implement the punishment.
Yes.
Because you don't want to just drive away people from the game. You just
correct.
You just want to punish people who are shitting, but like if you say, okay, I'm not gonna do it anymore, still.
Yeah.
and you don't do it anymore, you should just go back to normal queues and stuff.
Yeah. So eventually they have to shut down the idea because the detection thresholds were being like a little bit funky. So you get cases where normal people were going to hell, basically.
I mean, that's always gonna happen.
Yeah. But I think it was an amazing idea, especially because I think it gave them the time to collect data about how people were cheating, etc., without them knowing that they were actually being detected. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
And I think this is the big success of this experiment, that they give them enough time to detect how people were cheating, and when now they're tidying in the news, getting the epic anti-cheat turned on their systems and implemented a bunch of different stuff on it. So they shut it down officially, but I think it's amazing. I think I would love to see this in heavily competitive games. It would be super funny to see all these cheaters trying to kill each other in hell.
That would be funny, but that more than ever will suffer from the situation that I described before. Where, especially if it is competitive or super competitive, it feels more punishing.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm saying it's a bad idea. I'm saying it has its drawbacks. I like the idea. Yeah. I find it super amusing.
Yeah, amazing.
But I'm not even playing devil's advocate. I like the idea. I'm just saying that, like everything else, there is in details.
Yeah, of course. But hey, a job well done for the Fall Out Guys team.
Yeah.
And now they have all the data, and they can get to the normalcy of combating cheating. Man, it's been a fight in the industry for forever.
And it will be a fight forever.
Yeah.
I don't think it's coming.
Especially because there's money to be made in selling cheating technology.
Yeah.
That's the part.
Not only that, people like to cheat.
Yeah, of course.
It just, I think, is not like the feeling of gaming the system.
Yes, correct.
People thrive on that feeling, even if there is no money to begin with.
Yes. All right, and that is all for this episode of news, my friend.
That's all for this week's news with The Sweaty and the Farmer.
Yeah.
My name is Lucho, and you can find me on Twitter at Luis J. Polanco.
And I am the Lone Name Gamer, and you can find me on Twitter at the Lone Name Gamer, and on Twitch on twitch.tv/Lone Name Gamer TV, where I stream Mondays to Fridays. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, click the notification bell if you're watching us on YouTube, put stars on us if you're listening to one of the many platforms that we're on, leave us a comment, send us your love. Tell your friends, tell your family. This is a wholesome show. We love you all. Thanks for all the support. And see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.